Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Happy No Fear podcast. I am your host, Chase. This week, we have a very interesting guest. He's been traveling on and off for many years as a tattoo artist. Let's find out what that's like with my friend, Topo. You want to take a nap when we start?
Nah, I'm good.
You want to take your top off?
I'm going to take my top off if you don't mind. Let everything breathe.
Look who it is.
Hello.
We got Mr. Topo in the building, in the house. You just had African tacos, huh?
I had African tacos. It was dope. I spoke in French to the dude. He was from Algeria.
Uh-huh.
I forgot his name.
That's okay. You forgot yours too by now, probably.
Yeah, who be me? So, yeah, no, it was dope. I had some duck, some brisket.
No, you were hungry, man. You were calling me.
I was
Like,
fucking hungry, man.
can a motherfucker eat?
Plátanos con mojo.
Uh-huh.
Well, at least I didn't bring the food, because then you would be listening to me fucking munching on
Yeah,
that
shit. Schmecking on the podcast is not a good idea.
You're gonna hear me
You can
rolling.
you can roll all the blunts you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll the blunt real quick.
Roll that shit, light that shit, smoke it.
So what's the deal? I haven't listened to any of these things yet.
Yeah, that's.
But I already started following on the Spotify.
That's good. That's a good place, because there you can see also the it's the episode title card, and on Apple Podcasts they don't really show it, which I think is a bummer.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Plus Spotify is gonna give you some centius. That's cool.
Centius?
Yeah, get some money for that shit.
Right. Well, that's a later worry. We haven't even looked at all the possibilities there. And for now, it's just like getting everyone over here saying hello and chilling, and we're good with that.
I want you to start filming this shit so we can start getting stupid.
That's what Mole Man has been talking about.
On film, man. There you go. Yeah, just like do two little fucking GoPro cameras over here, and
overhead and shit maybe or something.
I don't know if overhead. That's a weird angle, but
that's your underhead.
Nah, they're only gonna see my belly.
Yeah,
and my head.
Well, business has been good. I could tell.
Yeah, it's been okay, man. I ain't starving for sure.
Yeah, where'd you just come from?
I was
before
in San
LA?
Francisco for it seems like forever, man. But I think I was only there for 2 or 3 months, something like that.
Right.
Mostly in San Francisco, but I was also in the Bay Area in general.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Berkeley, and I went to Oakland, and just kind of visiting little tattoo shops and hanging out with people.
Yeah. And most of these word to mouth, right? So explain to everybody, you've been on the road for how many years now?
Oh, years? I don't know. Right now, I've been traveling for 7 months straight.
Uh-huh.
And then, I don't know. I feel like in general, I kind of started the nomadic lifestyle probably end of 2013.
Yeah, that's when it began.
Yeah, that's kind of where,
And what gave you the idea? Because I think you also started tattooing around that time, yeah?
Pretty much, yeah.
So
First, I was just kind of doing it like painting, kind of like you.
Mm-hmm.
Just painting my walls and helping different people paint big murals. I was going around with Kenor. Shout out to that crazy
Shout out to Kenor, España.
Yeah. So he was kind of one of those first people who took me under his wing and just showed me the ropes a little bit and took me to a few big mural things, and it was dope. We went to a bunch of islands and festivals, and we did Miami a couple of times. And then I went to Venezuela after living fucking, I don't know, forever in Europe.
Yeah.
And I went back to Venezuela for a whole year.
Yeah. Because your family's still there, right?
Yeah, they're all there.
Caracas?
In Caracas. Yeah, that's where I grew up. But then I moved to Belgium. I've always been traveling, so that's what I mean.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. It feels like you're just kind of it's always been, you've been going around always.
Right. But then when I started young, it was just kind of hard to pay that shit, So I didn't really have the income to just afford just moving around crazy.
Yeah.
So I ended up being kind of, I don't want to say stuck because I did like a bunch of shit while I was there, but just kind of living in Belgium for a long time.
Yeah.
And
What's a long time?
pretty much, I would say a little bit less than 10 years, something like that.
Yeah, because that's where I met you. Like when I first came back, I think you were set up in Ghent. You had like a place there doing all kinds of stuff.
Right. I mean, first I was just painting walls and like getting high and shit. And I did go to like graphic design school.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually I couldn't really keep on studying because it was all in Dutch. So even though I learned how to speak Dutch, like doing philosophy and all that stuff in Dutch wasn't really my jam. So I eventually just kind of had to stop and find a job. And so I started working for a print shop. And it was nice for about a month.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't so nice anymore, pressing on that green button like all day long, you know, like making stupid photocopies for old ladies and shit. So, I mean, I was kind of bummed. But at the same time, I had access to all these printers and like print supplies, and whatever I really wanted was there. It was like a pretty well-equipped print shop.
Yeah.
And the guy was mad cool, actually.
Yeah.
He was really like, he was into my art. So he would be bummed when I was like just drawing and not taking care of the old ladies.
Yeah.
But he would see the drawings and kind of, you know, giggle and like crack up about that. So he couldn't really hate on me because he liked the work.
Right.
And so eventually he wanted to fire me. And I was like, nah, you can't fire me, man. Like, you gave me a creative job and I'm just pressing on this fucking button every day. I'm sick of it. But you can't fire me because you said we were going to figure out a good job. So eventually that guy became my art patron or something like that. Mm-hmm. And that's how I, in my, like a year or two, ended up founding Topo Copy.
Yeah.
With some homies over there, with Jonas mostly, and an organization called LADA, which is it's just like a youth organization that used to exist in Belgium. Uh-huh. And just, we just kind of put together a cultural project, and Topo Copy is really like a open workspace for printing. And we also work as a collective. We have like a lot of self-publishing projects, because that was like kind of like what I really liked about printing, was being able to make your own books and like, you know, just kind of make a medium for the art that we were producing.
All kinds, yeah.
I never really fucked with silk screening, but I did find this machine in the print shop called the Riso copier.
Riso, yeah.
And that's like a...
Riso's nice.
Yeah, they're fun, man. And honestly, it's like a super weird machine to use. They're kind of archaic.
Because it only does like 2 colors or 3 colors or something?
It does. I mean, it can do all the colors you want, but you're really limited to the amount of, like, they're called drums, and they go into the machine, and each drum prints like a different color. So you kind of have to collect drums and different sorts of ink. It's vegan because the ink is like soy based.
Yeah. So you can drink it.
I wouldn't recommend it, but it's pretty nice. It looks like acrylic, you know, it's creamy. So you're working with like a more, I don't know, it feels dynamic. And it's cool because you really have to like go through like an old Windows 95 computer with like Photoshop 1. And that shit is plugged into the printer. And that way we kind of send files to it. And so it's like a machine that, against all odds, is still producing beautiful work. And it's actually, they were meant for like churches and schools, but now the major trend is to use them for art.
Right, and zines and stuff.
And stuff like that, because the
Riso copy or Riso copy.
Riso, Riso. Right. And they're from Japan. And they're really nice. I mean, right now, there's studios like Topo Copy all over the world. But when we started, it was just kind of starting to pick up. So it's dope because we ended up being like cataloged into like one of those world maps of Riso studios, because there's not that many. Yeah. But you can find one in any major city in the world. So wherever you are, just Google it and do that shit. Riso is fun. The way I saw it was like, for me as an artist, before I was tattooing, I had an urge to create some form of art that was affordable, not only for me, but also for my peers. Like I was going to school with like hundreds of kids that were trying to be artists or designers and shit like that. And then they would go out and not really have like a fucking creative job.
Right.
So it was important to like take those drawings and either just make an archive of books or just create a document, you know?
Right.
That it doesn't just stay in a hard drive where it can just fucking expire.
Yeah.
But when you print it, it can also expire, but it kind of, you know, that's why we have the Bible, you know? That shit just makes it. When you publish something, it just kind of...
It's official. It's there. It's a thing.
Yeah. You make a document that's tangible. And nowadays, with everything being so digital, I saw like that's a good bet, you know? Like there's always going to be people trying to get shit on paper.
Right.
Even though...
It's nice to hold something in your hand.
Exactly. And yeah, that's Topo Copy.
Yeah.
But after I did that project for a long time, I don't know, man. Like, honestly, I've always been like, I started gaining some like recognition for my work, being able to sell work better. And I never wanted to be in one place for a long period of time. Like, I like having a home and everything, but home is where you're working, really.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, I don't really separate art from life, from love, from all the rest, you know? It's like, if you're an artist, you're an artist, and you have to be that all the fucking time. That's it.
Yeah. And you have the natural personality for it, you know, like people always like to hang out with you. And
I wouldn't say that, but
I would say
I'm sure
that.
there's a couple of people going like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, that fucking dick. No, but that's the way I see you. Always in a good mood, laughing around. Like
nobody's a golden nugget, you know. Like it's cool. Like, but yeah, I try to hang. You know, I feel like that's honestly, I call it social capital.
Yeah,
and it's like a mixture between the way I can hang out with people and the people that I know that just want to kind of hang out and like, even if they're not around. Like the dude who drove me here right now, he's a friend of homies in Paris that just kind of like, they have this crew, graffiti or whatever. They used to work in a bar.
Right.
When I got here, they just sent a message to this guy. He hit me up. He came pick me up at the studio.
Nice.
We've discovered like fucking African tacos. He didn't even know that we were going there, but that place was bomb.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I want to go there now too, man. Shit.
Yeah, we should go.
Yeah, we should go again. You still hungry?
No, I'm not hungry at all. I ate too much.
Well, you will be after that blunt.
I hope so. No, I hope no. I need to diet, but that's for another talk.
That's for another.
Well, I have a project for a podcast with my homie Burke.
Yeah,
and we're kind of talking about doing this. Like, he's bigger than me, bro.
Weight wise?
Yeah, he's like probably. I don't wanna quantify it because that might be offensive. But he's bigger than me, and he's
Is he taller also? Because you tall too.
He a little shorter, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. But he's just like he a big dude. He's like American big. I'm Latino big, and like we're both huge motherfuckers. And he's also like he just started tattooing, but he's like a multi-talented motherfucker. He can scratch. He can play the piano. He can like fuck with like VHS and video and design and like illustration and murals and all that shit. So the guy is all over the place. And I kind of met him in Miami. He came to get a tattoo. And then when I was in the Bay, he hit me up again, came for another tattoo, brought his friend. We've just kind of been like, you know, seeing like just hanging out in the last couple of months while I've been on tour. And the guy is super positive and shit, but yeah, we both got to lose that weight, man. Like, food here sucks, man. We're eating poison every day. That bread.
There's good stuff. You just, it's the carbs, right? You know?
Yeah, the carbs will fuck you up.
But they're so delicious. Good,
I
love carbs.
It's like, that's the thing, you know?
Give me some pasta, lasagna. I could eat it 4 times a day. That's my favorite
Or a burger with fries, you know, every single day. I don't give a fuck.
But, you know what you should, you exercise a little bit?
A little bit, yeah. But not.
What's a little bit?
Not enough. Nothing. Yeah, like I walk and shit. But yeah.
You gotta
when I'm traveling,
try to figure
usually,
something out, like something.
Yeah.
It's like you brush your teeth, but also a little bit of exercise at least every 2 days or something, right?
No, every day, man. That shit.
Or every day is
honestly,
even
that shit needs to be every day. Honestly, tattooing a lot. Like I miss it sometimes. Like I'm sitting down all day, and
this is
like,
also it, yeah, because you're sitting down tattooing all day,
and it's like
you're not moving even,
Yeah, but I'm workaholic as fuck. So if I can book a whole day, I'll book it, and especially when I'm traveling, I usually it's been good, man. I can't complain. Like there's been a lot of work, so it is what it is. Like long hours. Usually I don't eat too early, and then like I end up eating like massively at night after I was working all day without a bite.
Right.
And it's
then it's hard to get good
oh
stuff.
Man, and then you go to bed and you're all stuffed and shit, and it's like it's a bad recipe, man. I don't recommend it. Yeah. So this is not Chase Healthy fucking podcast, so we're not going to talk about my weight no more. But
actually, let's stick around. Coming. Let's stick around on that topic for another 45. How about that?
No, but it's coming. We're doing that podcast. I mean, at least we're like bouncing the ideas and
what's it going to be about?
Well, just like us, man.
Just joking around.
There's this diet where eventually I don't really want to talk about this so much more because we're still in the works, but it's just going to be fun, man. Right. Like just me.
Well, people can keep track of you, and then you'll drop it.
Well, I mean, I don't know, man. Honestly, I'm starting to flirt with that idea because the way I've been traveling the last 7 months, it was all so spontaneous, but I've been running across like amazing people and places, and
got to sit down with them. Talk to them.
Yeah, just talk, and then having that whole like it's not just like the weight loss, but that would be like the comedic approach to it, and like also have like some gastronomy and art and like all that good stuff that we all love, So just like try to.
Well, what do you cook anything at all? Or?
Oh yeah, I cook. I actually worked in a kitchen for a long time, and I actually studied hotel service.
No shit.
In Belgium for a year.
Yeah, and it's pretty hardcore over there.
It is, man. That shit's hard, but it was fun.
Yeah, even waiters in Belgium have to go to a school to be a waiter. But I love that shit,
because like for me in my regular job or anything I do, really, like I always go back to that service and like that mentality of service, and it pays up so well. Like I'll get tips in Mexico Beach. It's fucking crazy. It's like they don't tip at all, and they'll tip me.
Yeah. You get tips in Mexico?
Yeah, I get tips in Mexico. I even get tips for other tattoo artists, man. I'm always like fucking with the clients, trying to get them to tip their artists and shit. Yeah. That shit.
It's very American, right? The tipping thing.
But it's so lovely, man.
Of course.
It's fucking
when you're on the receiving end, it's
crazy,
beautiful,
man. I feel like some artists don't know.
What's a healthy tip? What's a tip of respect?
I don't know, man. I'll take $20, or even $5. Even if somebody just gives you an extra $1, it's always like, thank you, man.
It's just a token.
It's a little token of appreciation.
Did you ever get like an enormous tip? Like,
I have.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, how big was the tip?
Like a couple $100.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just like, boom. This is how much I appreciate.
But I mean, you work for a long time on people sometimes. And I mean, tattooing is also, you wear many hats, you're their artist, but you're also kind of like
therapist, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of a counseling sort of thing, or just like an unwinding thing where they're just laying down and you're giving them the hurt or trying not to too much, but it hurt.
It's a little bit,
and people just kind of relax in a way. It's weird.
What's because whenever I'm in New York, one of my favorite things to do is to ask a taxi driver for their craziest passenger. What's the story with your craziest passenger? And I've heard some shit. So I can imagine that you traveling all over the place and people are opening up. This is personal. We're documenting something in my life. We're doing some funny tattoos or whatever. You must have heard a crazy story before.
Dude, I had a 50-year-old lady the other day just tongue raped me like crazy.
She said what?
She tongue raped me. She
tongue raped you.
She just went right into my mouth, like just fucking.
Oh, she kissed you?
Yeah, like bad, like really shitty. Like,
after or during?
Like right after I finished her tattoo.
No shit. Was she lit?
She was lit. Yeah, she was like every time I would take a break, she would run to the bar and like slam a couple cocktails, and she brought me like a Bloody Mary. was like crazy, man. That shit was insane.
And
like,
did you feel it coming? Like, man, this is gonna happen.
Well, I mean, dude, it was like that whole thing. It was kind of weird, but okay, it's a good story though. I mean, I'm kind of like doing the math. If I should, like, how far should I share?
It's okay. She doesn't remember. She doesn't remember. She doesn't remember.
I mean, dude,
it's all allegedly after all.
So the thing is, I was lucky to be at Lyle Tuttle tattoo studio.
Lyle Tuttle, yeah, you said the legend.
He's a legend, man. He was a living legend until so recently. Rest in peace, Lyle. You're still missed. Yeah, that shit was rough because he was such an amazing dude, and suddenly he just kind of expired like poof.
Yeah, like you told me before when I saw you that Lyle is I don't know too much about the heavyweights in the tattoo game or anything, but he was in the Bay and open arms to Topo and to so many people all the time, and then he just passed, right?
Yeah, he was great, man. Honestly, that guy in the tattoo community, he's like the godfather right there. It's crazy. Like some people say it's like Ed Hardy, but nah, man. Like it's Lyle. That guy, he's like,
wow.
He's the dude, you know? He was like so fucking like interesting. The guy had a plane and he fucking flew it. Yeah. He had a boat and he fucking sailed it. Yeah. He had a dog who got blowjobs from real girls and shit. Yeah. Wow. You know, it's like
there we go.
The stories go on, bro. I can't go too deep because like some of them, like I should keep it within our community.
Right.
But I mean, the guy was super interesting and like a true gentleman too.
Right.
In spite of whatever I just said.
So the story with the story with the woman happened at while you were at his shop?
Yeah, so I was at his shop, and the thing with that shop is that there's just people walking in every day. It's a legendary shop in a legendary neighborhood.
What neighborhood is it in?
It's on that's called Little Italy.
Right.
So it's like North Beach in San Francisco. And I'm going to light this up.
Do it. And wash it down with a tasty beverage.
Tasty Modelo. Cerveza Modelo. Send us some sponsoring, bitches. Yeah.
That's a good moment. You got a fresh blunt. Swisher Sweet. What flavor? What's your flavor?
I got the banana smash.
Banana smash, huh?
And I'm smoking banana strawberry.
Oh, boom! And this is Modelo Banana Edition right here.
I guess so.
Triple banana.
So, anyways, like, there's a lot of people going to that shop every day. Every day, there's people trying to get tattoos.
Yeah.
And for me, that's super different because normally I work through Instagram and I work in my own private studio in Mexico and shit. And like people have to go through a certain filter before they sit down in the chair, you know? Like I have to kind of like talk to them, give them a secret address and all that shit.
Right. So it starts
so it's Instagram. Not like random people just sitting down.
Like you'll tell people on Instagram, look, I'm going to come to the city. I'm in the city. I'm working out of this tattoo shop. I still have open spaces, and then people DM you.
Exactly.
Then you go back and forth, see what their flavor is.
I try not to go back and forth too much because time is money.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
I hate it when people will try to get me to like text for ages.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So basically, I have this reply that's pretty automatic, and I just try to get a phone number because I really don't like text. Honestly, I
want to talk to the person.
Yeah, I honestly, before I give somebody the address of my house, I want to hear their voice. You know,
right.
So, or even if it's just my studio or whatever, you know, I want to hear somebody's voice. And it's just easier if we're talking about, like, you know, images and stuff like that. Words sometimes won't do the trick, but at least, like, having direct communication makes it a little easier for me.
Right.
Some people just like doing text and, you know, more power to them.
Yeah.
But for me, I'd like to, like, get them off the text as soon as possible and get them in the chair as soon as possible too.
Yeah.
So there's artists out there that they like to book like maybe 2 months in advance, 6 months in advance, shit like that.
I know people that have hired or worked with tattoo artists that just the waiting list, or for whatever reason.
A year, man. There's crazy.
True,
I mean, and more power to them too, you know, but I wouldn't be able to work like that because I would feel like they own me, you know, and I wouldn't feel free to just go about and do whatever.
There's still a component of freestyle that you like. Because if you're there for like 2 weeks, it turns into a month, whatever. Yeah. And then you feel like going to Paris or you feel like going to Mexico. You want that flexibility, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, then you're a slave to the thing.
Not owe anybody anything. Right. Not take anybody's money before I tattoo, or at least draw something for them.
Right.
You know, so I try to, you know, keep my calendar pretty open. So if you write me a message, I'll tattoo you today.
Right.
If nobody wrote to me before you did, you know? But yeah, I like that. But then at Lyle's, it's completely different because I just straight up stopped doing that.
Right.
I wouldn't book.
Yeah, there was that many walk-ins, you didn't have to.
Yeah, I would just go and then just open the shop and start drawing and start chilling there. And eventually, at some point in the day, somebody will walk in wanting whatever they want.
Right.
And I would just try my best to use my capacity to provide them with that. And most of the time, people who are going to go into a shop and just want something, they don't want something too complicated. So, you know, I think I was ready this year to start like doing that, you know, and it was fun because then people were really pushing my capacities because they don't know what they can expect from me. So they just want whatever they want, and I just have to figure it out.
Yeah, and then because I heard you on the phone the other day, someone client had an idea, and then they always allow for that idea. Obviously, they want your hand in it too, as the artist, right? Your style ends up being part of their idea, because otherwise, you know, to do, let's say, any other old drawing and stuff, that's not really the way to work, right? Because you can just go to any old tattoo shop and get it there.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, though. Like, honestly, I feel like you can talk to any client, and if you have that design capacity, you can pull things your own way or give things your own twist and make everything original, you know?
Right.
To some extent, there's people who just want that fucking infinity sign with an arrow with like a couple of names and shit.
Yeah, well,
and there's no talking them out.
What's the most recurring, you know, because back in, you know, put a feather on it, put a bird on it in the art world, you know, like 10 years ago, just put a bird on it, it'll sell. Like, what's the most recurring, silly thing these days?
That's the thing. I wouldn't really know. Sign, honestly, the infinity sign. I
was about to get one.
You should, man. Like, we need to get you some badass tattoos. Not be like, honestly, what's up? We need some tattoos. I'm good. We need to get you some tattoos. I'm good right now.
But we'll do one. We'll do one in a bit.
Yeah, we should.
But not on this podcast. Not right now. No, every time I see him, he won't leave me alone. I gotta shake the fucker. Let's do one right now. I'm like, yeah.
No, but honestly, like, I'm pretty blessed. I have crazy clients, and I've been able to do my own designs and style for the most part of my career.
Right.
I don't really need to go and do like tattoos that I didn't draw.
Right, exactly.
And I feel like I can draw a lot.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
your
books,
I don't do realism or any of that stuff.
You got thousands of drawings in your books. It's so much good, quick-witted, like, dope shit in there.
Well, the way I see it, though, you know, when I'm drawing my flashes, it's just like me hanging out, watching TV, smoking a joint, just hanging out, and then I'm drawing. I rarely sit down and draw, really. Right. But then sometimes I have that muse, and luckily I've been able to capture it in the right way, and then I travel with those books, you know.
And that's cool, man, because now you can be on the road. You can pretty much, like, just pick any destination on the map, say, I'll go there, right?
I try not to be so, like, haphazard, you know? Like, I go where my homies are. Because I know, like, dude, I'll pick up the phone, like, 5 hours before I get in LA, and you'll let me crash there, you know?
Yeah.
And I know that I can come to LA because there's people like you, and there's people like Greg Mishka. Shout out to Greg and Lisa.
Shouts to Greg.
You know, like Rabbi, shout out to Rabbi. I called Rabbi like
Shouts to
literally
Circle.
like 5 hours before I came here. And, I just ended up having to sleep with that guy in the same bed because he lives in a tiny ass apartment.
But that's not your first time, so it's
Dude,
okay.
I don't give a fuck, The guy suddenly I wake up and I have Rabbi's feet on my face, The guy went all weird like that. I don't give a fuck. Like, honestly, a bed's a bed. So I'm lucky, man, because, like, they say you don't choose your family, but you do, man. Like, you definitely can build a pretty big, loving family around the world if you're just cool, and if you just kind of like go around like encouraging people and having a good vibe and like try not to hurt anybody. You can be like whatever, but if you have like a good vibe and good intention, like you can go far with that shit. And that's pretty. I feel pretty blessed.
Yeah, it's true. I know a few people, not that many, that are also traveling all the time or traveling with the art in mind, and also with like what the art is number one, and then sometimes it's a nice hotel, and most of the time it's not, right? But but the journey that's what it's all about. It's about the fun of going around and sharing your stuff and absorbing all these cultures, these cities, these friends, these circles. And like you said, the family vibe grows, and all of a sudden, so for people, because there's some young artists listening, and they're like, "Man, that sounds like a dream." Just do it, right?
Yeah,
but be smart about it. Any tips for those people that are listening? Like, how do you really do you start with one city, one person, bro, and then you go? Like, what's the lessons after your experience? I just follow my gut,
and then I follow the cool people, I follow people who are down to hang, who I know if I call them and if I say, you got to put yourself in a position of vulnerability to be able to really push yourself to the limit. Yeah. And when you just go out there, you'll be impressed how many people are willing to give you a hand and just chill, just chair. Just like, you're not going to miss anything really unless you don't try it. That's the biggest miss.
You can't know until you go.
Yeah,
right?
I guess, Totally. I mean, like, I don't know, man. Honestly, I never really planned it. Yeah. And I never really plan it to this day. I'm just like going and I keep on moving. That's the mantra, really. Like, just keep on moving.
Yeah.
Keep on moving, keep on moving, keep on moving. It's a new year, keep on moving.
Yeah.
Don't stop. And even if you can't, like, last 2 years were kind of hard for me, and I just kind of stayed in Mexico for a year and a half. That shit was crushing me. Because I just have homies all over the world, and if I'm not, like, constantly traveling and visiting them, I miss them,
Right.
So it's like, when I'm just in one place, like, I'm cool with the people I have around, but I'm feeling the best when I'm like going around doing the tour of my friends and just seeing like, yo, what's up?
That is a good feeling. And you visit everybody, you have some good times. You do some stuff together. You create some stuff. That
we
is a good
can't be
vibe.
anywhere or everywhere at the same time, but it's like, I try, like I try to keep my the world is pretty small, man, but it can also be like, there's a lot to see, and there's a lot of things to visit, and I'm just constantly curious, so I'll just keep on moving.
So tell us that, because I was still curious, what's the craziest story anyone's ever told you, or with the lady, personal story, and also the story that you were told.
About what?
Just like, when people open up and they're telling you some crazy shit.
I mean, the story with the lady was just crazy because, like, there's these people that walk in and you don't know them. And this lady, she walked in, I think they were from like somewhere in white America, which I've never been to. I've only been to like Miami, New York, San Francisco.
Like you're talking Minnesota or some shit.
I think that was totally where she was from. Or like Wisconsin or whatever.
I've been to both of those.
Real
it's
white.
Very white.
Real white. Heavy white.
Like all the Swedish
crazy,
immigrants.
like almost ignorant white. It's crazy.
Ignorant,
stupid.
I wouldn't say.
I don't know, bro. I mean, honestly.
I've been there, and
it's just,
I'm always surprised how it's not like that. It's just different,
Yeah. That's why you're a much more tolerant individual.
You're so tolerant.
No, I mean, dude,
Maybe this particular person was.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and I literally was left with a shitty flavor in my mouth.
No shit. And a little mouth chlamydia.
I hope not. You know,
you can't get an STD if you don't get tested.
So, anyways, like she walked in with her son. Her son is like
her son was there.
19 or something, like a little ginger boy, and this guy is getting like all fucking like typography all over his arm, like little quotes. I think I did like a I don't know, somebody famous quote. I think it was like the Apple dude.
Think different.
Steve Jobs, yeah. Rest in peace, because they fucked up that company now, man. Fucking assholes. But, so anyways.
You got no service nowhere. What's going on?
Oh, man, it's ridiculous, man. But whatever. We missed that dude. Fuck. So, yeah, he just had... I did some letters on him. Dude, probably the easiest client I've had in my life, man.
The kid.
That shit was easy. The guy was down. He knew what he wanted. He didn't make me sweat it too much. He got a sweet-ass tattoo.
Yeah.
And I did it for the right price, and he was stoked on it, and it was cool. The lady, though, she came in with the craziest idea. She wanted, like, this bracelet with, like, fucking... I didn't even post that shit. I should, but I don't know. I even have a picture of them and shit, but I don't know. I don't want to blast them too much, but it was rough, bro. Honestly, she made me feel pretty shitty for a minute. Yeah.
Because, like,
well, anyway.
She was commanding you or something?
I mean, it's just like ignorance, bro. It's like just straight up ignorance. And it's like.
Was she like rude to you or something?
She was not trying to, but eventually, like, it got the best of her, you know? And it's like, I don't know, man. Tattoos are emotional. And some people, like, I tattoo a lot of virgins. A lot. All the time, which to me blows my mind because I don't usually work in that setting.
And by virgins, you mean people that don't have any tattoos?
No tattoos.
Not actual, like, sexual virgins. And maybe both.
Well, maybe both. I don't know. I don't ask them that. You know, I just see that they have no tattoos. Yeah. I don't think I'm allowed to ask if they had sexual relationship before. But I am allowed to ask if they have a tattoo or not. Yeah. Because I want to know. Like, I want to know if they can sit. I want to know, like, if they know what they're getting into and all that shit. It's different, you know? Like, a person who's a tattoo virgin just knows, you know, a lot of stuff that a virgin doesn't.
Right.
Know?
That's right.
I always ask. And
so she wanted a bracelet?
She wanted a bracelet with like a fucking peace symbol and a smiley and a yin yang and a fucking sun and stars and like it's all colorful.
Sounds
and,
like my artwork.
It was awesome, bro. Like I had fun doing that shit. It was awesome. And I did a great tattoo. But bracelets are fucked up. They're hard to do. They take forever.
Why? Because you just got to connect all the way around?
It's just a lot of work, man. And it's like, imagine all those symbols. They need to look sharp around the wrist. You know, you have to connect them and shit. Yeah. I think like I did a cool tattoo. Plus also, she just kind of drew it. I asked, because she didn't know how to explain it. So I just gave her a pencil and I asked her, just draw it.
Right.
And I took her drawing and I literally turned it into a beautiful tattoo. So she was stoked the whole time. And, but then I could see that she was maybe going through a divorce or just like, you know, like just feeling shitty because she has no husband or whatever. Yeah. Or I don't know, getting rowdy and shit. And she was like talking like, she was kind of all over the place, like being like super excited and then being like kind of depressive and a little depressing too, you know? And it's like, okay, I'm just doing my job, man. I'm stoked with what I'm doing because I really love tattooing, man. And when I'm doing a tattoo that's kind of pushing, like it's something that I've never done before, I'm always excited. So
right.
I just pay no mind, man. I have to build a shield for that. Like the you know, if anybody's carrying a drag, it's not my drag, you know? So I can't let that shit in.
Right.
And
and like there's like sad stories being shared. Like
you know, it's like I try to listen, you know, but there's a difference between having to say a sad story or being a drag, you know? Like, I feel like that's completely different. We all go through shit.
Right.
But people carry that cross differently, you know? And I mean, I've been there. I'm not exempt from it. You know,
Right.
it's just like, well, I mean, in tattooing, you kind of have to establish a boundary,
Boundaries,
I
yeah,
guess,
yeah, yeah.
you know, and then you don't have to like, you know, pay attention to every single thing, cause, or you have to, but I feel like the attention has to be more on the tattoo. You know,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have
yeah,
to
yeah.
do quality work,
Right.
and then all the side works that come with tattooing, you just kind of have to be able to manage them. But you're not a fucking therapist.
Right,
You're
exactly.
not,
Yeah.
you know. So
See, that's something you learn to manage, sentiment. But some people, they just, they, it becomes such a thing. I get it sometimes in the street too.
oh yeah,
Because
or
when I'm
artists in general,
when I'm
you
painting
know.
a wall, like people think it's, oh, you're just painting a wall. So they just help themselves to a conversation, talking about all kinds of shit. I'm like, man, I'm working over here. It's like, well, and then I get like, a little bit like disappointed. And I like to give some energy, but like sometimes I'm in the midst of like solving problems over here. And I don't want to hear about, your uncle that ripped you off and like, okay, it's like, I don't, come on, man.
Right.
I don't need to hear that. Well, people think because I guess
mean,
they project onto us that we want to hear that story. And there's a lot of lonely types too out there,
I don't
So
know,
sometimes
man.
you
I
give them
guess, like,
that.
as artists, we get away with a lot. So we're also expected to give back some, and,
Right.
and I guess that's okay.
Yeah, it
I
is.
can't hate on that. But
when it becomes like,
when it's like some old lady's tongue in my mouth, I gotta say,
oh
yo,
yeah, because that's
stop,
how it
you
ended.
know?
I forgot already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like,
So all of a sudden, you're such a good listener.
No, 'cause
Topo,
they're-
you listen so well, so easily. I feel like you can tell you anything.
I'm chilling there, and I'm like, I try to, like, I've gained this radar to when I need to laugh,
Oh, yeah.
when I need to go like a little, and that's it. It makes people feel so much better if you just go the right time,
Yeah.
because then they feel like you're listening to them, and it just makes
Yeah.
it work.
Yeah.
And then just put some nice music, and
Yeah.
I love my job, man. Honestly, like I wouldn't do anything else.
That's
'cause
great, man.
It's like,
How'd you get into it to begin with? Because you were painting walls and doing all this stuff before, and then all of a
It's
sudden, next time I
crazy.
saw you, you were like properly tattooing already.
well, I was pretty lucky because I mean, I started getting tattoos when I was probably I was already like 24 or
Yeah.
something. I started late,
Yeah.
considering I see kids all the time starting 16 and they're blasted and they're not even like 22.
Yeah.
They barely started drinking and they already look like, they don't have space.
Yeah.
And I don't know. To me, it's kind of rushed because, I mean, I still have a bunch of space in my body that I know I want a tattoo at some point, but I'm not in a rush to like get it all jammed up.
Yeah.
I just like little by little, I know I'll get opportunities to get tattoos by amazing people.
Right.
And I just kind of want to have space for that. And I also want to put stuff in me that feels light, and feels like,
Yeah.
like
You've got
I-
the best kit that I always think about. You got this this setup on, I think, your left leg, the Freddy tattoo.
Oh yeah, Freddy.
Show Sean right now. The best setup right there.
You see, that's why you need a fucking camera in this motherfucker,
I know,
because
so
the
people
people
can
are gonna
see.
be like,
You got to post a picture of that. Look at that whole setup right there. See that?
dope.
That's all.
Freddy's a
like what
holy
he's talking about,
stuff, man.
light. Like it's happy. Because there's a difference between, these are my mother's initials, or this is the face of
Right.
my grandmother.
No, that shit is
That's
heavy.
one way. And the other
No.
style is what I like so much about Topo. It's sort of like, it's all fun. It's good times. It's good energy. It's all friends too
Yeah,
on his body. And it's like the tattoo. Look, it's just hilarious.
yeah.
It's just so much fun
I
to
mean,
look
I don't
at.
try to be funny, but
Yeah.
I want it to be light.
No,
I
but
want it-
like- but
want it to
I don't mean
always,
like
keep
haha,
me
but
motivated.
it's good energy.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And that's also the type of energy that I try to put in the tattoos I make for
Right.
people. I want to try to give you something that's gonna be light on you. That's not gonna be a drag, or
Right.
it's not gonna like,
Some heavy energy attached. to it or
yeah,
something.
fuck that.
Yeah.
I feel like tattoos is like buying a nice pair of shoes, man. It's
Yeah.
just a pair of shoes you're gonna wear forever.
Yeah.
So you better get a shoe that feels comfortable
good, yeah.
and that fits you.
So how'd you get into it? Like
it's funny because like
becoming a tattoo artist?
I
rather
started
than,
I started getting tattoos pretty late, and I started tattooing even later. So I've been painting and drawing and doing creative shit forever, since I can remember, pretty much. And Topo has been like a thing probably since 2003, something like that. As a name, that I already like was thinking about, that I created like that signature for, and the little face. And in the beginning, Topo was like a little mole. Popping out of the ground and like just like saying hello to people.
That's what a Topo is. It's a mole.
Topo is the mole. Yeah.
I always think of El Topo, the Jodorowsky film.
Well, I didn't know that film until way later, because when I started, I was a kid. I wasn't watching El Topo. That shit is fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's some deep shit.
Some people, everybody should watch those movies, like especially The Holy Mountain.
The Holy Mountain, Shouts to Alejandro Jodorowsky.
Yeah, that's actually the name of my studio. If I ever have like a legit studio, that's going to be the name.
The Holy Mountain. Yeah.
And that's already kind of the name that I use for my private studio in Mexico.
Right.
And that was the idea of Cheno.
Cheno.
Yeah, Cheno from Belgium. He wants to call his studio The Holy Mountain. And I said, like, yo, I'm gonna just turn it into Spanish and use it too.
Yeah.
And he's cool. So
he won't
family. Mind. No, he's starting to tattoo too. I hope he's already a little further. Last time I was in Belgium a couple months ago, and he was like, he already has a kid and he's starting to tattoo. He's doing some tattoos on people. And dude, I hope he's really sticking by his word and doing Cheno, start tattooing, motherfucker. Come on. So shout out to Cheno.
He's good. Yeah, he can do whatever he wants.
Dude, he's the greatest, man. I love that guy.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like that right now. Like, I'm meeting a bunch of people. I met also fucking Phil from Beat Drunks. Shout out to Phil.
Mm-hmm.
I met him in San Francisco. That's the guy who drove me to fucking LA last time I was here.
Oh, yeah.
He just pulled up in front of my studio in San Francisco, and he was like, yo, we rented a car. I'm with his girlfriend, Nadia, and they were going to do like the
then
trip
you guys came to the show downtown.
Big Sur.
Yeah.
They did Big Sur.
Yeah.
So they were like, yo, if you want to like jump on the car, we'll take you to LA. And I was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
And that's when I called you.
Yeah.
And you weren't there the first day, so I ended up sleeping with Rabbi. I was
just coming back from Big Sur myself.
Exactly.
Hey, what's this?
I wish we would have met there and gotten high over there. That would have been sick. But
what? Tell us about the psychedelics, young Topo. Unofficially, allegedly.
No.
Yeah, no, you can't.
I mean, it's cool,
We tried the other night. Because DMT is supposed to be gifted to you. So I did it with.
I think that shit is like, what is it, like grade 1, whatever? I'm not talking about that.
Well, this is all allegedly. We're making shit up. But we did it for breakfast in Miami allegedly. That was beautiful, man. I was so scared.
I mean, when in California, homie, you know, like you gotta do what you gotta do.
Oh yeah, and then I had a plane to catch too. But no, it's not what people think. It's a beautiful experience.
It is good.
Allegedly.
Yeah, it is good.
Allegedly. But I was so scared, and everyone was passed out in that house. And Topo has a friend.
I'm sorry for inviting you there, but
no, that was the best. No, it was beautiful. What was it? Like
it's like a fancy apartment.
It's like a fancy apartment condo
Miami,
overlooking the bay, or like the what is it? The bay or the river? Yeah. And so there was a party the night before, and then all of a sudden I had a late checkout, and I'm like, let's see what Topo's up to, because his homie. Let's not shout him out, but he had a suitcase. But proper suitcase, leather bound, with every kind of vial. I always say for fun,
Fear and Loathing style.
Fear and Loathing style.
Fear and Loathing style, bro.
Like the attorney, but like everything, the mescaline, everything they always joke about that I never run into. It was all there, individually packaged, droppers, everything you want, and in there was DMT, allegedly. And I'm like, well, it's on the way to the airport. Let me stop by. And everyone's passed out. There's kids everywhere, And Topo was already awake. He's wearing a Mexican wrestling mask.
I wake up really early, man.
Like in just his underwear, like raging around. And I'm like, Topo, this is my moment. I've never ran into it. I want to try. And then that was beautiful, man.
When
Thank
it's there,
you.
Honestly,
and you were my guide. You were my guide through it. I needed you because the fear was kicking in, man. Seriously.
Yeah, but I ain't trying to be a shaman or whatever. It's just like, So that was I feel like when it's there, People should try it.
Yeah.
There's a documentary on Netflix.
Yeah.
Check it out.
The spirit molecule. Yeah. There you go.
Do your own research. You can go to Mexico and probably like New Mexico.
Yeah.
Those are the spots. Or the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And then just be cool and talk to the right people and you'll find it, you know?
Yeah.
But you got to be cool.
Yeah.
And you got to wait for it. It's kind of...
How have psychedelics allegedly changed your life?
Well, you know,
If
in a
they
way,
have. Maybe they didn't.
I started in Belgium, bro.
Yeah.
I started in Belgium because in Belgium...
With the mushrooms?
Exactly. I remember living in fucking Ghent. And if it's the right season, you can like get on your bike. You drive for like less than 15 minutes. You're in the outskirts of town. There's cows and fields everywhere.
Full of mushrooms. Shouts to Dimi, who's plucking them. We have a homie there,
the
Dimi.
bird watcher.
Dimi the bird watcher. He goes hunting and drying, full process.
That's my best friend right there, man.
That's
I love
Dimi.
that guy. Yeah. He's
always
yeah.
he's got an assortment ready. You know? Very good. Freshly, found in the fields.
Yeah, no, I mean, I remember like at that time for me, like that was the first time I heard about it. Yeah, you go to the fields, you look around the cow poop, there's mushrooms. Cow poop, right weather, mushrooms.
Yeah.
Cool, let's go. And I got bags of that shit.
Yeah.
And we would put it like in honey and clean them all up, put it in honey, and have like a huge mayonnaise jar full of fucking mushrooms and honey.
Yeah.
And then you just use a spoon and you just like go for it, you know?
It's just a trip to do it out there because, you know, Belgium's like there's a lot of
crazy.
Like streets. You know, Ghent, Sean, you've been there many times.
It's a beautiful place, man. It's like
you
being
trip out,
in
man.
between castles.
You're all of a sudden
shit.
like, where the fuck am I? You're like, what year is it, you know? And as you know, so strange place to do it.
You know, for me though, honestly, like
but nature's better.
Fun.
Nature's better. I learned after that
also,
time.
But for me though, I don't. Like I will go out to the city and have some fun and
it's difficult, yeah.
But it's a little harder.
Yeah.
I will go out to the nature, but I feel like it's dangerous, bro. Like honestly,
nature's dangerous?
Yeah, it can be. Like if you're like too high, you're fucking around in the wilderness, you know.
Wilderness.
Dude, it
depends what wilderness, you know.
Well, that's the thing, you know. Like if you're out in some mountain, like far away from like any, you know, hospitals and shit, I don't think it's super smart to get like incredibly blasted and shit.
Yeah, not a
I don't feel like super safe there, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's not like I need to get high near a hospital.
Did you ever have a bad
That's not
trip?
what I'm trying to say. But like, because it's cool. Like, it's
Tell
cool
us about your bad trip, Topo.
No. It's like I haven't had one.
I've had a few.
I haven't had too many.
Yeah.
Like not too many. Like and whatever's been like a bad trip for me, it has only been like more of a, I would say, an uncomfortable trip.
Right.
You know?
How did you experience
I had that not being high. Like the other day, I got on a fucking bus and they had no air conditioning. And I was smelling fart the whole way from San Francisco to LA.
And then you realize it's
that
your own
shit
farts.
was really uncomfortable. That was worse than any trip I've had on mushrooms and shit. Even though like it feels like your face is melting, literally. You know? So it's like, you know. No, but what I would do, I wouldn't really, like, when I started fucking with mushrooms, I wouldn't really, like, go out into the city or go to nature and be a hippie. Mm-hmm. Nothing against them, but, you know, like, I was mostly, at that time, I just started, like, making that transition from being a normie, sort of, to, like, just, like, I'm not going to do any normie shit anymore.
Right.
Even though tattooing is pretty normie once you like.
What do you mean I'm not going to do any normie shit anymore?
Well, just like 9 to 5. I'm not going to like, you know, I'm not going to conform. I'm just going to like push myself a little bit to be what I need to be. And nothing against people who need to do 9 to 5s or whatever, because all the respect to the grind, but it's not for me, man. I was miserable every single hour that I got paid. Oh. Every single hour.
What if you microdosed in the morning and then did the 9 to 5?
I've done it.
Probably a better trip.
I've done that. It's cool.
A lot of people microdose now.
Yeah.
You know, Oregon is about to, on the cusp of legalizing
I would give it to all the kids in school.
Yeah.
But that's just me. No, but
But
the
in
way
their
I,
milky.
at least
Here's your milky.
art school, like maybe not regular school, but or who knows? I don't know, man. Like honestly, who am I to say?
Right. They should
But
dose Trump.
that would be crazy, man.
All the
That would
problems
be
solved.
amazing.
You
Hell
give him a
yeah.
psychedelic trip,
Oh,
unwanted. That's illegal, allegedly.
yeah, that's super illegal.
But still, imagine if or any, he'd come back like, man, I'm gonna let it flow in the wind, man. Shit, I don't give a fuck. So what? I got a bald spot in the back of my head.
No, man. I mean, the way I recommend, if you're I would say like give it to fucking art school student, really, because the way I did it,
Terrence McKenna gave it to his students. He said,
that's
you
good.
can't enter my course unless if there's a hero's
what
journey.
course was he teaching?
I forget what it was, but he was.
It was microdosing?
No, it was a proper hero's journey. Like not a cap and a stem. No, like it's an eighth. After that, you're ready for my course. But that's Terrence McKenna.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, that guy's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Well, no, the way I would do it, like already when I started fucking with mushrooms, first of all, I was already old.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't fucking around before
How old were you when you first did it?
I guess like 25 or
Oh,
something.
that's
26.
young.
Your mind at like 15, 14, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I
That's
didn't- I
young
didn't
as
know how to
fuck,
appreciate
homie.
it, though.
Yeah, no, that's it. And it also
It's also like a West Coast thing, I
shaped
feel.
your brain, bro. Like, and at such a tender age, I feel like that shit. I mean, you look like a pretty straight up dude to me, so that's cool.
Nah, I'm honest.
Yeah, there you go. But so you can't really tell. But I feel like it's dangerous to start so young. So I started like I always had very much respect to it. I think what drove me over, I watched that documentary of Robert Crumb.
R. Crumb?
Yeah, R. Crumb.
Yeah.
And that shit,
I didn't see it.
dude, it's insane. You gotta watch that documentary.
And
It's
how
dope.
did
It's
it
super
inspire
dope.
you?
Well, he did it.
Yeah.
Like I think it was fucking like Janis Joplin or something. Which funny story, Lyle tattooed her at the same shop where I was working in San Francisco.
Yeah.
So
His
that
story.
bitch gave R. Crumb some LSD and some mushrooms.
Easy. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, that lady,
Yeah.
that crazy lady,
Yeah.
that lovely bitch. She gave some mushrooms and some psychedelics to R. Crumb, and his art just exploded.
And his art-
during the documentary, you can actually see it affecting him.
Yeah.
Like you can see his art like being developed up until that point, and then suddenly he goes like, and then suddenly this girl just gives me LSD, and this is what I started drawing, and I was like,
it's unbelievable.
what the fuck?
The
And I just started doing that.
Yeah.
Like I would at that time, the guy from the print shop, he tried to fire me. And I went like, fuck you, you're not firing me because you promised me a job. And I started kind of like crying a little bit too, like making it super uncomfortable for him. And I was young as fuck and going through a bunch of shit. I'm like, dude, you can't fuck with me like that. I'm going through all this shit and you promised me a future and shit.
Yeah.
And that was like my first official job in Belgium. So, and the guy just kind of felt bad. So he said, you know what? Just keep your fucking keys. You can come to the print shop whenever you want. Do your own little thing, keep on making your little books and shit. Just don't come here during working hours. You have the shop. Yeah.
Good solution. That's a compassionate man.
During like closing time, you can come here all night and you can print anything you want.
That's
I don't
still
give a
good.
fuck.
That's still
pretty
good.
cool.
But no more
Like,
pay.
No, he started paying me.
Oh,
He was
good.
like, here's your check.
a
You
win-win.
collect it every month.
Yeah. Just no more interaction with the customers.
Yeah, no. I'll ask you for help once in a while. And if you're here at night, you can like take care of these orders that need to be printed through the night.
Right.
But just print your shit, So it was awesome. Like I was free suddenly, like
Great deal.
it was great.
That was
And
great.
then he went like, you know what? You're having shit with your house. We're gonna rent you a house. And so suddenly I had my own crib for the first time ever.
Wow.
I have my own crib in Belgium. I'm getting this check just to be creative. I'm helping these people out, but barely.
Yeah.
I'm just doing my shit. And that's when I started doing psychedelics. Because I had all this paper around and all that shit. And I felt like pretty safe, I felt like, okay, cool. I can fuck up with my brain a little bit because I got money to feed, like everything is covered right now.
Right.
So it's okay if I go a little wild because the only thing that guy was really expecting from me was to do art. And I
Right.
saw that documentary and I saw what it did to Robert Crumb. And I knew that I had like a bunch of shows coming up in Belgium because it was go time, you know. I had somebody like supporting me, paying the canvases, giving me access to all the materials that I wanted and a place
Dream
to
position.
do it. Dude, like honestly, man, shout out to Patrick. He saved my life.
Yeah.
Straight up. That guy is crazy. He then went bankrupt and shit.
Yeah.
But he kept like a bunch of my paintings and he's like, he still loves me to this day. You know, I just don't see him that much.
Yeah.
But that guy straight up saved my life.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it's weird when it's interesting because everyone likes to have a drink or likes to, you know, smoke a little weed or this and that, and it changes your consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
But and everyone always feels that there's something else going on, especially if you're sensitive, right? Then you sense there's something else going on. There's got to be something else. You
There's
get
energy
glimpses
in the
or deja
room
vu or
always.
something you know all along, and then when you have the chance to have a psychedelic experience, and all of a sudden you're on the other side, you know, of that wall, whatever that wall is, and then you're just somewhere where the entry, at least for me was very scary. And I remember I was out, you know, because you lay down. I'm like, Topo, the fear.
No, you're talking DMT again. I was lost.
But you're just, you know, and then he came over there and he just held my hand and he just went like he rubbed over my hand and I knew I was not alone. And then I was able to let go because for some reason, you know, I was not alone there, you know.
Yeah.
And then like I guess I took off and I saw stuff, man, you can't describe it.
And then you started drawing all sort of trippy shit.
I did actually, yeah. Yeah.
I remember. Yeah. Trace it back, homie. I mean,
no, it's
for
true.
Real.
That
Trace
time, it was a
back.
couple
I
years
know.
ago. Yeah.
I saw it. I saw that shit happen. Because like before, I remember
It's
your
true.
work and it was always more about the ego.
Mm-mm-mm.
And now it's more like it's looking back at you, but it's like it's more multi-dimensional.
Right,
like,
right.
I feel like after that trip, and I don't know if it was that trip or like because I know that through that time you were going through a bunch of shit too.
Right.
I think didn't you go to like fucking like what's the hippie festival in the desert?
Oh, Burning Man?
Yeah, did you go to that?
Oh,
shit?
I went to Burning Man a long time ago. That was
There
way
you go.
before then. That's like 10 years before then, I think.
Oh, okay. But weren't you going like to the desert a bunch around that area?
The
too?
desert, like it's always
Yeah.
recurring, yeah.
Okay.
I like to go there.
What do you do there, man?
I like to go there. It's a different Death Valley and stuff. Did you go yet? Man.
I haven't been. I
We
want to go
gotta
to
go.
that, like the place where it has Slab City or something like that.
Slab City. That's not that far.
And the other one, like
That's
I don't know whatchamacallit mountain.
no, it's what's it called again? Slab City, but it's actually it was a thing from the 1950s,
Mm-hmm.
like a city that popped up that didn't work out because the lake, Salton Sea.
Yeah,
Salton Sea. Yeah.
I don't know. I just want to.
We can go paint
And I've
anything
seen
there we want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like
I have
seen
an
that
invitation already. I just
full
gotta
of
go.
People painting and shit.
Yeah, you can paint houses. It's just a
Right.
community that's self-reliant. They're kind of
Mhm.
squatting, right, with limited resources. And the sea itself, which is technically a lake, I
Mm.
guess was like toxic or something. And that's why this 50s
Oh, shit.
development didn't work out. It was like the location before Palm Springs and all that stuff was going to be
Okay.
this. But it turned out like everyone bought property, houses, 50s, early 60s.
And then they abandoned that shit.
And it was like, man, this lake over here, it's not kosher. It's like bad to live next to or something.
Oh,
I forget
no.
the exact story, but it was along the lines of like a toxic lake. All the properties built, everyone made their money. All of a sudden, the truth comes out, and now there's a whole community. And I think the lake's healing or something. I forget what it is.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. And then it's being
Google it, Sean.
transformed.
Come on, pull it up, Sean. Pull it on the screen, Sean.
Put it on the
Come
screen. There it is. Tick, 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 tick. I see it, man. So no, there was a lot of that stuff, but I talk about accidentally. I had a lot of accidental psychedelic experiences
All right.
where I wasn't.
Like
I didn't
You
choose
weren't
them.
expecting him.
Yeah, it's like
Oh, no, that's not
situations.
cool.
Yeah, and man, many stories, but it's all allegedly. I got to talk to my attorney. We're trying to grow this podcast, man. Maybe this is the way to grow it. Well, stay tuned.
But Joe Rogan is always talking shit about all the fucking crazy shit.
Yeah.
He's not getting in trouble, so neither should
No,
we.
that's true.
It's cool.
No, but there was a thing called
freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech, bitches.
There was a
Yeah.
thing. There was a thing called 2CB, right? It's part of the MDMA family,
that
and my
was
friend
weird,
had it,
man.
and we're at some party,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Try this,"
No, fuck that.
and you're supposed to lick your pinky,
Yeah,
and then,
yeah. Beep, beep.
But I didn't know that it was that, and it's like in the MDMA family, it's like a strain off it, but it was never popularized. 2CB, for those that know, it's
Yeah,
like
I've heard
hardcore shit.
I've seen it.
And all of a sudden, I'm at this 4th of July
I've
party,
seen that one.
and everything starts to melt,
Really?
literally.
It's terrible.
And I'm like, "What's going on here?" And she brought her dog.
That doesn't sound fun.
No, and I'm like, I'm yelling around like, I got drugged, and someone drugged me, because this is not what I thought it was. And and then the cops showed up, man. It was like over capacity, fire marshal.
Oh shit!
And I'm like, focus on the dog. So I dug down because I noticed there was eye levels. Right? There's eye levels to things, and that's before I lost my motor skills and all that stuff. But all of a sudden I realized if I just dug down from the eye level, then I'll be safe. And the dog is looking at me. So I go down to the dog. I'm petting the dog. I'm touching the dog. The dog starts to talk to me and everything. I peek with my eye. I see there's fucking police officers right here, man. So I'm turning my shoulder like, don't let him see your eyes, because I knew I was like drifting away, you know.
Too high.
I'm like, and I started yelling, "Enter the void, Gaspar Noé." You know, I got drugged.
Well, but that sounds like an uncomfortable trip.
No, it
more
was
than a bad trip.
I
right?
fought for my life for many hours. I ended up laying outside of the house. It was a nice house in the hills.
It's all about the breathing, bro. Though I mean, I feel like that's the most important. If you're gonna start fucking with psychedelics, eat something.
I didn't know
but
it
not
was
too
that.
much. You know, like not. Don't be fool. Like eat something light and nice.
Yeah.
Be comfortable. Don't be with jerks.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I had no
it's
idea it
not-
was that.
It's not a party.
I had no
really.
idea.
It can be.
I
but
had no
it's
idea
not.
2CB was that for some reason.
Yeah, it's not a party.
So I end up
It's more
laying.
Like
I ended up laying on the floor, right? No motor skills. I couldn't even speak anymore. And my friends were like,
no,
"Yo,
that sounds
Chase,
horrible,
we
man.
gotta get you an ambulance, man."
Oh fuck!
And I'm like, but inside I feel really good. It's just I can't express it. But I felt actually really, because I relaxed to it, right? And I just found a cold little piece of cement on the patio.
Don't go.
Yeah, no, and I'm like, everything is okay. It's just your ego talking. Like literally. And I have 3 cameras. I'm inside, right? I'm also able to see and gauge from where they're looking at me from their perspective. And then I have one that's way up high in the sky, looking down on everything. You know, so I see everything in dimensions that you normally don't get to see. And then the dog, because I'm laying on my stomach, and the dog came and laid on the back of my neck, the nape of my neck, nice word. And he just started licking my face. I was totally happy. 10 minutes later, my friend who gave it to me, she's laying next to me. I can't move.
What a jerk!
And I'm like,
That's
what
karma.
the fuck? It's your fault.
There you go.
You gave me the wrong stuff here. You know, it was hilarious.
That's just like a window to your soul. And when I was a kid, I didn't know that because I used it for like partying. That's when like doing it too early. Becomes like, you know, when you're like 14, 15, you're like, oh, let's have fun. But you don't realize it's also like a window.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
to, like,
yeah.
your
It'll take-
fucking soul.
It'll make
Yeah.
it. It'll
So
mirror.
you're around the wrong people and you're like,
No,
Oh,
man,
yeah,
and
yeah.
they're talking shit or they're being rude. You know,
Yeah.
It's like,
It
I
reveals.
can
It
understand doing
reveals.
later.
It reveals.
Better to do
and
it.
that's where I go back to fuck. For me, man, doing psychedelics with myself
Yeah.
was the best because
Yeah.
I learned to love myself. I learned to know myself. I would set up the room, man. Like I would put like a bunch of paper and pencils and markers and watercolors and stuff to drink and snacks.
Yeah, you do
know?
it solo.
And yeah, I would just fucking
That's also
go like
interesting.
I always wanted to do that.
half
Solo.
a spoon. You
Some
know?
balls
I
on
would
this
go
guy.
like, okay,
Huh?
tonight it's gonna
That's
be mild, you
unbelievable.
know. So I actually want to watch the movie. So I would put on a movie and I would go half a spoon, and half a spoon is enough to get you really tripping honestly. If you have the right mushrooms and the right honey, it'll get you pretty fucked up. But in a way, you're still conscious, so you can you can drive that trip. You can go places. Right. And the way I would do it, I would start slow and just start drawing and drawing and drawing.
Wow, that must be a trip because you see the line in front of you.
Yeah, and then suddenly I don't need to be outside. I'm creating my own shit.
Right.
And I'm watching it being created, and I'm having fun with plastic, just color and plasticity and art. It's just like, oh, okay, so a couple of just blasts of color make art. And that's crazy, but that's the way it is.
Right.
Especially nowadays, man, where, the cover has been blown. You can pretty much do whatever the fuck you want as long as you make it interesting and you're communicating something genuine. You can get away with murder, man. It's crazy the amount of freedom that we artists have nowadays.
Right. It's true.
And it's crazy to me, too. You know what? Most artists are just constraining that shit to a little square box, Yeah. It's crazy. It's all about the little square box with the little heart in the corner and the little number next to it.
Little Instagram.
And it's and I don't want to bitch on Instagram. I love Instagram. Shout out to Instagram, bro. Yeah. Thank God for that shit. But in a way, it's limited. You can't keep your art limited to what's going into that little box.
Yeah, you got to share it. Actually, you got to make it tangible in the world.
You got to go out there and check what's up. See if your art translates from that box into the real world, and if you can actually complete somebody else's desire for something. So that's our biggest job. As far as artists, you only have to figure out what it is that you can do for other people, man.
Yeah,
and then for yourself too, with your own personality, put it out there. But if you really want to make a living with art, it's especially nowadays, I feel like we're all it's labor, you just go and you do your grind and you create your images and you find people that follow it and want to have it. But you got to create something that generates that impulse of I'm going to send a message to this dude. I'm going to contact this dude. I'm going to go to that store. I'm going to pull out my credit card and I'll Venmo that fool,
and support it.
But what is it that actually generates that impulse,
Yeah.
In my world, what changed it totally and made it totally sustainable was when I started putting it in the skin. Because I was making a pretty good living as an artist, but now I'm chilling. And that's good. Good I can't really thank enough to everybody that comes get tattooed by me because they allow me to exist, and in a way that I didn't get to do before.
Yeah.
I was making a good living as an artist. Now I really just can explore who I am and go wherever I want, and I can pretty much do whatever I want.
Yeah, that's dope.
My only restraint is myself and how far I want to push myself, So in a way, I need to push myself a little harder, but so far so good.
Yeah, and what an honor when you get to do your style, your work on someone's body. A wall is one thing,
Dude, I had a guy walk in at Lyle's the other day. Shout out to Gabriel. Gabriel, fucking awesome dude.
Yeah,
he walked into the shop and he wanted the California bear. He wanted it done with triangles of all colors.
Yeah,
that shit was whack. And I told him straight up, yo, I'm not gonna be able to do that tattoo for you like that. My colleague was at the shop the day before, and she booked the appointment for me. So she saw the drawing, and she didn't tell him straight up. She just said, "Yeah, Topo can do that shit for you." And when I saw it, I was like, "Dude, I'm not doing this design. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna help you out now because in a couple of years you're gonna think,
let's do something." But I wouldn't recommend you to get this design like that done by me. I'm sure you'll find somebody on Instagram that has posted a picture of a similar tattoo. Triangles of all colors, creating an image of a fucking California bear. And more power to them. But that's just not me, I'm a different guy with a different set of skills. Let me do something where I can really shine. And he just went into my books and went you know what, Topo, I'm not hard. Just do what you need to do and give me a badass tattoo. And
That's also
what
crazy.
I did, you know,
That's dope.
like I just created this badass fucking bare face, you know, like just coming at you, and it's full of like gray dot work and stuff like that. Shit that I love to do and that I'm having fun exploring every day now.
Right.
And he just went for it. In less than a week, that guy was back in the chair getting a second tattoo.
No shit.
He got his first tattoo probably like 9 years ago. That shit was whack, like a fucking penguin tribal.
Yeah.
Huge penguin tribal on the side of his arm.
Yeah.
And the guy doesn't love it. And I told him, Gabriel, we can fix that, you know, but I'm not gonna fix it right now. Let's do a nice tattoo. Let's get to know each other, you know, like you have to get to know my art first, and let's see what's up. And so I did it. Like I did first the bear, and then he wanted like he wanted like a moon. And I'm like, okay, but what do you want? I want a moon. I'm like, what moon, bro? Like, I mean, like, there's many types of moon, you know? Like, how do you want me to do a moon? Because I can give you a moon the size of a quarter and call it a day, you know? And no, I want a really nice moon in your style. Never forget it, bro. You're an amazing artist. And I'm like, okay, thank you, bro. Like, that's really flattering, but it's not really helping me right now because I need to figure out what you want to get tattooed, bro. And I just told him, like, just give me something like, I want a happy moon, or I want a moon smoking crack, and then I can go from there. You know, like, there's two different moons, you know, like two very different moons, you know. Maybe the one that's smoking crack looks happy too, but it's not a happy existence. But anyway, so I did like a little bit more back and forth with him. Why do you want to get the moon? Oh, I want to get the moon because my dog, her name is Luna, but I want to get a portrait of my dog. So I just want the moon to remind me of Luna.
Yeah.
Moon, Luna, same thing in Spanish, whatever. If you don't know that and you're in California, you should learn some Spanish.
La Bella Luna.
La Luna. So, yeah, I just made a dog moon, or a moon dog.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like the typical moon with the face of the human, but just with the face of the dog.
Right.
I just showed it to him, and the guy was stoked. He got his second tattoo. He's already planning to come to Mexico and get his third tattoo. And it's just sick, you know.
It's
when,
nice.
like,
You know, you stay in touch with a lot of the ex-clients? I mean, not the ex-clients, but
dude,
people you did work for?
I was just talking about that shit today, because actually I have to leave soon. We're going to have to stop talking in a minute, but because actually I'm doing a double dipping. Double dipping is when during a tour, a client come get tattooed 2 times.
Uh-huh.
But right now I've been touring for 7 months.
Yeah.
And this guy, I already tattooed him last time I was in LA. Second time I'm in LA during the same tour. He's gonna come and get another tattoo.
Yeah.
So I've had a bunch of those. And I've had a lot of double whammies too. Double whammies when they go 2 tattoos in 1 session.
Uh-huh. That's a double whammy.
That's a double whammy.
And a triple double.
You can go double whammy, double dipper.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's a guy who you already tattooed 1 time. He's coming for the second one, but he liked it so much, he's actually getting 2.
Yeah.
Because he knows you're moving
That's
on.
fun. That's fun.
And he doesn't know when you're coming back to town.
This may be the last time you can get a hold of
And let me get 2 real quick because you might die.
Exactly.
And that's cool, you know, because that's the way it is.
That's fun. It's fun.
And that's why I won't book you 6 months in advance, you know,
because you never know what's going to pop up.
What if I die, bro, and I keep your money and I take it to the grave and you're damning me to hell, you know?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
That would be bad karma, man.
I'm not taking
You
your
don't
money.
want that.
Dude, Lyle, right before he died, he paid off his fucking credit card like a G, bro.
No shit.
Yeah, like a gentleman, man. I don't think I would have done that shit. I would like start swiping that shit like crazy. But he just paid it off, man. Like the guy was a real gentleman.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Man, Topo, I know you got to get out of here. So where can people find you online? Tell us.
They can go on Topo Photo, TOPOFOTO on Instagram, and that's it.
And that's that. Bam, good to see you, man.
Thank you, bro. I love you.
I love you too, my man. Good to see you.
Boom.
And that's it, folks.
Thank you for sharing your story, brother.
Yeah.
On to the next one. Bro. That was Topo, everyone. What a guy, huh? Very funny. As always, we're on Instagram at Happy No Fear. By the way, send us some messages there, some questions. Every once in a while, we're going to do an episode dedicated to you guys' questions and inquiries. Also a beautiful word. Over the years, I've gotten a lot of DMs to my At the Art of Chase account. Advice questions. How do you do this? What's this like? Blah, blah, blah. Hard to respond to all the time. So I figure let's dedicate an episode every once in a while to you guys' questions, whatever they may be. So if you got some, please DM us at Happy No Fear on Instagram. And until next week, we will be thinking of you. Bye-bye.